This is a photo of my father, Edward VIII, and this is in 1939, the year I was born. They're planning my kidnapping. This is George the Illegal Six, and Roosevelt, the president who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador in 1936 to the Embassy of England. And the purpose was to do exactly what they did, take down my father. With character assassination, he would not take orders from the Illuminati. And George would, so the Illuminati, the Freemason, the Mafia put him in. And they kidnapped me then in 1941. I've put this up. There's a reason I'm putting this up now because I found out in 1983 during a political campaign I was flown out to Mr. Flint's. And I had been writing when he was shot a book about medical malpractice, MD License to Kill. It was never published because they almost killed me more than once, before that and after. But it wasn't necessarily because of the book. It was, I found out in 83 when I was out at Flint's, that who my father is, and that he was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. She was actually Queen of England, 36, and should have remained, just like my father should have remained king. He was taken down with lies, and he had an addendum or attachment that was legal. It was done in court, went through channels, and making me, or if he had an heir, it would not exclude the heir. So an heir would inherit, and I was born in 39. And therefore, they thought they got rid of my father. Then they had to kidnap me, or they did. They didn't have to. They chose to. And the addendum would allow my father to come back if he had an heir. And the minute I was born, I was Victoria II, heir to the British crown. And my father would have been brought back because of power of attorney and guardian of me. This is Georgia O'Keeffe, my aunt, the artist. And my father never married this woman. This is how they took him down, with lies, using doubles. And it was pulled off because part of the family went along with it. The Churchills went along with it. There's a whole list that turned on my father. And if you look into the family there, the Windsors, they're Freemasons. They are the Illuminati. Illuminati have kidnapped me. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedys, my own uncle. I could go on and on. In fact, I just put a partial list up that I found that's just been published. It was 300 of the upper top in the Illuminati, Freemasons, and all of the family are listed there, which was shocking to me. Anyway, my father never married Wallace, a double did, so it was a takedown, and they're still saying that and using this, especially when Meghan just married Harry. All this was put back up except for the truth. They're still saying that my father gave up the crown to marry this woman. She was an American spy, and that whole thing was a lie. My mom and dad were still alive and married in October the 20th of 1986. Now, the reason I'm putting this up and putting the background to it is I know that Winston Churchill was a part of all this, became a part of it, and the cover-up and everything. I want to put this in here, too, because he was friends with Roosevelt. He even had an apartment in the White House, and he was furnished a limo. And then he was friends of Eisenhower, the general, who became a president. Truman became a president. Kennedy, a president. So they all knew each other. And Kennedy, JFK, helped in my kidnapping. The reason I'm putting this up is I recently heard, and then I checked it out, there's a book that's been published that makes the statement. Whether it's true, when I look back at my father, I look at the lies, blatant lies history has recorded. My father wouldn't go along with the Illuminati, and especially the treaties that were signed later that are illegal, that allowed the global government to come into power, the Illuminati, Freemasons, NATO. The front for the Illuminati, global government, is UN, United Nations, in New York City, where Rockefeller Plaza Center, all that is. It's like right in your face, you know. The chipping, I put that up. I was writing about it, but then there's another book that Tex Mars wrote about placing chips in people, and Timothy McVeigh's on death row. I already had that one. It was done in patterns, and so this led me into finding out the timeline when they took my father down and kidnapped me is when they really came into power, and the illegal treaties and the UN came to be. So it's like Revelation. And that's what Tex Mars put up also. I didn't connect it to Revelation because I'm not that biblical, but I pretty much, I mean, you can't make that up, the timeline and everything. The thing, if people are still watching it, I'm having to give background so you know where I'm coming from. Recently, I got the information that Elizabeth wasn't even George VI. He's illegal. He stole it from my father. I'm the legal monarch. But so she's illegal anyway. George VI was illegal, a war criminal, a traitor. But that she is a daughter of Churchill, Winston Churchill. Now, whether it's true, I don't know. There's a book written on it, and someone sent me the information. I did start thinking, because after I found out in late 83 about my kidnapping, I did remember a lot. If I had remembered prior, I would have known what to do with it. But I did. The thing I'm putting this up for is Clementine. I Googled Winston Churchill, and he helped destroy files and all that, and helped take down my father, keep, the whole bit with hiding it. The Church of England became part of it, the cover-up, and my kidnapping. But anyway, Clementine, I thought, my God, I used to have dreams. There was a song, Oh, My Darling Clementine, You're Lost and Gone Forever. I remember they would play it after I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama. And they would play that song. It was popular, and I was trying to find out because I remember it bothered me so much. I really had a problem with that song, and I don't know till today why I do. I was looking up the timeline, and why would this have bothered me? Did I hear something that I'm trying to remember or know something? I don't know. They were married. Clementine married Churchill in 1908. Bing Crosby had the song. I don't know that it ever really got all that popular, but I remember hearing it. But I thought a country singer sang it. But he had a rendition of it in 1941, that's when I was kidnapped. So it would seem, like there is a connection, because I remember being terrified. I would hear the song, and it just really seemed like there was something about drowning. I don't know. Anyway, I put that up because I wonder what the connection is. It seemed like a lot of the cold-blooded killers who have been made heroes are really the people that are so dastardly there's not a word for them, and the good guy was made to look bad.